In a recent video on YouTube, I mentioned a real treasure house of a find in a used bookstore. A collection of the poems of Al Purdy, a very well-regarded Canadian poet, and one who traces in a fascinating way many of the incidents of Canadian history, landscape, personal adventure or misadventure, issues and episodes with his dear wife, and the list goes on of the things that he chose to address in poetry. But this one is before the turn of the 20th century. It has to do, I think, with Mounties and First Nations people. I haven't even looked at the history of it yet. It might have had to do with a government response to the Métis uprising in the prairies, but that's definitely where it is, in the prairies. The battlefield at Batoche. Over the earthworks, among slim cottonwood trees, wind whistles a wind tune. I think it has nothing to do with living or dead men or the price of groceries. It is only wind. And walking in the wooded, dish-shaped hollow that served to protect generals and staff, officers from sniper fire, I hear a different kind of murmur, no more than that, at least not definitely the sort of thing you do hear every now and then in a city, never. Questioning because it's so ordinary. But not so ordinary here. I ask my wife, "Do you hear anything?" She smiles. "Oh, your imagination again." "All right then, don't you wish you had one? If I did, I'd burn your supper." The sort of thing she says to annoy me, the unanswerable kind of remark that needs time to think about. I take my time watching the green curve of the South Saskatchewan River. Below, a man riding an inch-long machine a mile distant that makes dark waves cutting the yellow wheat. I wonder if Gunner Phillips heard the sound on the day of May 12th in 1885, before the bullet knocked him down. The stairs he spent 20 years climbing. Did Latendre, with his muzzle loader clamped under one arm, stuffing gunpowder down the barrel and jamming in a bullet, stop remembering great itchy beasts pushing against log palisades at night and running the buffalo at Grand Couteau, the Sioux screaming insults from a safe distance at men from the White Horse Plain? All this in dream pantomime with that sound and nothing else. And old Willette, age 90, his hearing almost gone anyway, wiping off river mist from his rifle, listening? Under my feet grass makes small noises. A bright-eyed creature I can't identify is curious about me and chitters because it's August. In May, the annoyed general eats his lunch on the cliffs, ordering a reconnaissance in force, which his officers misinterpret as attack in force. Midlanders, Winnipeg Rifles, Grenadiers move out from their own positions and burst into the Métis rifle pits. Well, there's a hint as to history, isn't it? With Captain Howard from Connecticut, a demonstrator for the Colt Firearms Company of Hartford, demonstrating death at 500 rounds a minute. Sounds like that movie, The Last Samurai. With the borrowed Gatling gun. But it isn't the sound I hear now, not the dead shifting positions underground to dodge bullets stopped in mid-earth, here a little way under the black soil where wheat yellow as a girl's hair blossoms. The Métis Nation was born and died, as the last buffalo stumbled to his knees and felt cold briefly while his great wool blanket was ripped from bloody shoulders. It is for Parenteau and Desjardins, a Siwayan of the Woods Cree, for Laframboise and old Willette and dark girls left alone, that such words as mine are spoken, and perhaps also for Gunner Phillips on his grave above the South Saskatchewan, but most for myself. And I say to my wife, "Do you hear nothing?" "I hear the poem you're writing," she says. "I knew you were going to say that," I say. In evening, listening to the duplicate rain sound on the roof of our camped trailer, it seems that I was wrong about my motives, and the dark girls mourning at Batoche. the dead men in shallow rifle pits, these meaning something. The rain speaks to them. The seasons pass just outside their hearing, but what they died for has faded away and become something quite different. Past justice and injustice, beyond old Willette and his youngest grandson with the larking dog chasing a rabbit, green grass growing, rain falling, on the road cars passing by. Like the child I was, I say, me too, camped on the battlefield at Batoche, just slightly visible in August, me an extension of anything that ever happened, a shadow behind the future, the bullets aimed at me by Gunner Phillips and Old Man Willette 85 years ago, whispering across the fields of eternity. You can almost hear the prairie winds, can't you? Sad stories. People confronting, people not understanding, and massive technological power coming against those brave men of the plains. That's all. That one really shook me up when I read it. I thought, well done, Mr. Purdy, one more time. Bye for now.